Good morning. It's icy today. We are trying not to break our ever-loving necks, as my mother used to say. And Ruby is trying to figure out what this whole buyer thing is all about. And so, today we're talking about what it really means to understand how buyers behave. And that's not the easiest conversation to do. It's also not the easiest thing to find out unless you're trying to get that information from actual customers. That's really helpful. So your data on your platforms will tell you a story, hopefully a fairly good story. But is it the crux of what you can learn about your customer? And my statement is probably not, but it's a start. It's a starting point. So demography helps. Socioeconomic background helps. But more than that, understanding the context of these behaviors is really interesting. So I'll give you a case in point. So I am a child of the 70s, born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. So I'm old. And I'm one of the few humans in the Western Hemisphere, let's call it, still connected to a landline. I have not cut that cord. So I've got the phone with the buttons and everything like that, like I did when I was a kid, hanging on a wall. And you know who calls me on that phone? People trying to sell me stuff and scammers. That's who calls me. So you know what happens? Unless I know the number coming up on the wall, I don't answer it. And I never will, to be honest. So, really want to get rid of that landline, to be quite frank. Wasting some money there that I shouldn't necessarily waste. But quick part B to that is my behavior is tied back to that landline. So, when my phone rings, whether it's my mobile or if it's my office line, and if I don't know the number coming up, I get the same feeling that I do when that phone rings at home. And it's an unknown number, or it's some random area code I don't know. And this is context, right? This is context for a buyer discussion. So if you were to cold call me, starting point for our discussion is you're either trying to sell me something or scam me. I want either of those conversations to start. And B, what is in it for you? So if you're just trying to get a meaningful discussion started with somebody from the get that is like, I don't know you, I don't want to talk to you, I don't know why we're here, you're not wasting 5 seconds of my time, thank you, but no. And so that's context. So the context that I would request for everybody who is looking at their buyers and understanding how they initiate conversations, work with people, want to do things, this is the stuff. This is what you want to contextually understand. This is why cold calls continue to be a problem, because my kid sees my commentary when my landline rings, which is, nobody answer the phone. Because that's what's happened. And so this is the model you want to build into everything that you do around your customer base. What is it that they need to know from us that helps them, the buyer, get an outcome? What is the outcome? If you're cold calling me specifically, but I have a real strong suspicion that it's my collective generation, this is a problem. This is a real problem. And so we have these KPI-driven discussions around, how effective these things are. It's a numbers game or whatever, but the context matters. It ain't happening, gang. It ain't happening. And so same with cold email outreach. I've been using email for 30 years, and I can smell a pitch from 10,000 miles away. Don't want it. Don't need it. Don't come to me with that. And so I ask every rep, I ask every marketing team to think differently about how they want to approach their markets, right? Like, it's not easy. I'm not saying any of this is easy. I'm not saying any of this is, oh, we're just going to switch to a new channel. It'll be great. Or our buyer likes this. It'll be great. No. You got to sit down and think about this, map to a behavior that you think your buyers will understand and encourage, and then build to that. So it's like, go back to it, low intent buying. Like, if we're going through a marketing conversation and I just want your ebook and you're trying to sell me something, that's not good. That's not right. So how do we get past that? And so from my perspective, today, when we start talking about buyers, listen to them. Find out what they want. Give them what they want. Walking and talking with Ruby.